Hey, how's it going? Preps here, and welcome back to another Marvel Strike Force video. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a bit of a roster review on my account as I just hit 210 days played, which is 7 months give or take. I'm going to be going over my total collection power, we'll have a look at my arena rank and where I currently sit, going over my raid teams and what raids my alliance is currently doing. Then I'll show you my league that I am in Cosmic Crucible, have a quick look at my roster, and then I'll go over my future plans. Before we get into it, I just wanted to say a quick thanks for all of the support so far. It's been absolutely crazy. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. It really helps the channel out. Let's get into it. Alright, so after 210 days played, my total collection power is just over 17 million, and my strongest team power is roughly 2.5 million. Now, while my total collection power might seem a little bit low, if you're a free-to-play player or a free-to-play adjacent player, which means you only buy a battle pass or strike pass every now and then a low total collection power isn't actually as bad as what it seems. And as you can see, my strongest team power is actually pretty powerful. And we can see I've collected a total of 273 characters in the game. There's a few that I haven't unlocked yet, a few characters that have no relevance in the meta, and of course Mephisto. I am currently building my first team to head into Dark Dimension 7, and we'll go over that a little bit later on. My all-time arena rank is number 1, however, with the few spenders that are in my arena shard, it's actually pretty hard to even stay in the top 10. As we can see, my latest arena rank is 5, which is actually pretty good, I think. And speaking of arena rank, if we head into my arena, we can see that this is the team I'm currently using, which is Black Knight, Old Man Logan, Gladiator, Apocalypse, and Gore the God Butcher. And if we go into what I'm up against in the top 5, we can see that I'm already punching up quite substantially. Now I'm hoping once I unlock Endgame Thanos, I might be able to push up a little bit higher. But as you can see, the players that are ahead of me are spending quite a bit, I want to say, on the game, and it's going to be really hard for me to catch them. But as most of you know, we just received arena payout changes, so as long as you're in the top 100, and especially the top 20, the amount of power cores you're getting per day is really good. Alright, let's talk about raids and raid teams. If we go over to the raids my alliance is currently doing, we can see that we're doing Incursion 2 difficulty 1. And I've got to say, apart from the Mystic and Tech teams, this actually isn't too bad, but we can see I'm really struggling with the Tech section here. I can't wait for the new Tech and Mystic raid teams to be introduced because I'm absolutely sick of using Bifrost and Pegasus. And just a quick shout out to my alliance that are absolutely carrying me through these sections, because as a newer player, you really don't want to be putting resources into teams that are going to be replaced soon. Now, once we get through to the mutant section and the bio section and then the skill section, I can sim all of those sections and I absolutely destroy them because I have put a lot of resources into the more recent raid teams. And even though I am struggling to keep up in the Mystic and Tech sections, because I've managed to save so much gear by not building those teams, as soon as the Tech and Mystic raid teams come out, I'll be able to unlock those characters almost instantly, and I'll be able to help my alliance progress through these new Orcus raids much quicker. Alright, so looking at my raid teams now, and we can see that my Pegasus and Bifrost teams are pretty low power, with most of the resources being invested into Kestrel and Val, because they are 100% the carries of the team. As far as Pegasus go, I've brought them up a little bit more, as when I did put my resources into them, we didn't know that the next team being replaced was actually going to be the Tech team and not the Mystic team. But they're a pretty good team anyway, they're not too bad outside of raids, so I didn't feel too bad about putting the extra resources into them. But the Bifrost team I've tried to keep as low as possible. Moving along to the Mutant Raid team, the Extreme X-Men, and we can see here that I've subbed out Cyclops for Old Man Logan, just for now, as Old Man Logan is one of the best characters in the game, and as far as I can tell, helps carry the team through these raids. However, with the introduction of the AUKUS raids, we know that bringing a full team into the raids is going to give you substantial bonuses, so I may have to replace Old Man Logan with Cyclops eventually and bring him up just a little bit. But until we know for sure, I'm not going to be putting any more resources into Cyclops. Okay, the Bio Raid team's up next, and we can see once again I've replaced a character in this team, and the character I've replaced is Venom in favor of Super Skrull. And while I thought that this was a pretty good idea, I am simming the raid, so it's actually kind of hard to tell. But the other day, I accidentally entered the raid on manual, and I'm going to tell you, after watching the raid play out, Super Skrull really didn't do a lot. But once again, we may have to invest in Venom once those AUKUS raids come out, we just don't know yet. Now, the skill raid team, the Spider Society, this team is absolutely crazy. They are such a good team in so many ways. They are amazing outside of raids, and most of these characters are no-brainers to take into Dark Dimension 6, Dark Dimension 7. I am interested to see, with the upcoming release of the Night Stalkers team, if we're going to have any extra city characters that might be good to chuck in here. Alright, moving along to the next team, and it's the Alpha Flight team for the Spotlight raids, and I did bring all of these characters up to level 90, gear tier 17. It looks like I might have to bring them up to level 95, gear tier 18, as I think they're going to find the job a little bit easier at that level. Not a team I really want to be investing into, but I guess the payout rewards from the Spotlight raids make it a little bit worthwhile. But once again, the sooner the Mystic and Tech raid teams are replaced, the better. As I've been really holding out, trying to avoid putting any more resources into this team, and as you can see from before, I'm really struggling in those first couple of sections. Alright, on to Cosmic Crucible, and while I do like this game mode, sometimes I just run out of time, and so I only throw in one attack and see if my opponent maybe just doesn't play at all, and then I win by default. But if we head in and have a look at where I stand at the moment, we can see that I'm currently in Gold 1, so pretty much middle of the pack. But one thing I want to talk about when talking about Cosmic Crucible is the payout structure and how the store works currently. We can see that at my current level, I'm getting about 8,340 Elite Crucible credits every week, which allows me to buy roughly 50 to 85 shards of a certain character depending on which character I'm farming. Now, if we go into the Cosmic Crucible store, we can see that they're adding new characters constantly and beefing up the prices of these new characters, but when we look at the older characters, they're not lowering the prices of these older characters. Characters like Cosmo and Abomination, even Quicksilver at this stage, should 100% have their costs cut in half and their shards doubled. Better yet, there should be some sort of rotating system that after a certain period of time, once a character is released, they either move to another store or get put onto a campaign node. Iron Man Infinity War is a perfect example on my account. We can see that even though I've been playing for 7 months, he's a tech raid character, so an incredibly important character, I don't even have him at 7 stars yet. And let me tell you, Beta Ray Bill is even worse. Alright, time to have a quick look at my roster, and I've brought it up on the Marvel Strike Force website because it's a lot easier to look at than in-game. And we can see, starting at my most powerful characters to my least powerful characters, that I've invested mainly in raid characters and meta characters like Apocalypse and Kang. As a newer player, the amount of resources you get is finite, so choosing which characters to invest in is absolutely crucial. And we can see that even though I've unlocked most of the characters in the game, I've really only invested into about 80 of them. And I've really only taken about 25 to 30 of those into Teal Gear. Now, the characters I'm working on at the moment are the Illuminati and the Annihilator teams, because there's a Pocket Dimension coming up very, very soon, and I want to see what kind of rewards that has to offer. Now, as always, I'm saving the resources I have until this event goes live because we don't know yet what the rewards will be, and I have to figure out whether the investment I'm going to make is going to be worth the rewards that I'm going to get at the end of it. Alright, so I'm working on Illuminati and Annihilators for the next Pocket Dimension, but I also want to quickly go over what I'm planning for Dark Dimension 7. So I already have Old Man Logan at level 100, gear tier 19. He's the first and so far the only character I've taken up to gear tier 19, but I am planning my first team so that I can enter the unrestricted nodes as soon as possible. Now, as the city section is the first section after the unrestricted section, I think it's a pretty good idea to try and take at least 2, if not 3, city characters to the unrestricted section of Dark Dimension 7. But from what I understand, the unrestricted section is a lot harder than the city section. So I've chosen 3 Spider Society characters in Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, and Peter B. Parker to go alongside Old Man Logan, and the 5th character I'm thinking of taking is Super Skrull. Now, Apocalypse is also a heavy consideration, but Apocalypse is very expensive, and as I've already taken Old Man Logan to gear tier 19, that took up a lot of my mutant gear. So another reason I decided to only take 3 members of the Spiders in Noir, Penny, and Peter is because there's a good chance with the release of the upcoming Night Stalkers raid team that we might get some city characters that slot in there perfectly. We know from the release of Ares onwards, character stats are gonna be a lot higher, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how this affects Moon Knight. But as of now, that's the team that I currently plan to take in the unrestricted section of Dark Dimension 7, and we can see that I'm actually not too far away from starting this. I'm mainly waiting on a few mini uniques and a tiny bit of origin gear. Alright, well I think that's pretty much it with today's video. I'm running out of time, I gotta jump in and do my war attacks before my alliance gets mad at me. But I just wanted to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content just like this, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.